Good evening, everyone. It is a wonderful evening. I am pleased to show a Toho 5 Lunatic, no miss, no bomb. This was achieved on the night of May 19th, 2026. I don't know what's up with the tape's audio. It's a little bit fucky, but you know, we just go with it. This is played on not a real piece 98. God, I wish. Maybe I should start monetizing these things again so I can get some money. And get an actual piece 98. Yeah, this was played on DOSBox. Recorded using the built-in gameplay to ABI function, which is really nice. Then digitized a fucking shitty tape from an RCA shitbox to the new Sony VCR, and I must say, it looks pretty nice on the Sony. Pretty good. So, unlike my other, kind of ramble commentary videos, I kind of actually want to talk about the run a little bit, but we have a problem. Mystic Square for survival is, really kind of sleepy until Alice. So, I asked my good friend Pan, good old Pan, just what I should talk about, and he said how I practiced or learned the game, or how I could play through nerves, right? Now, just as a heads up, this run, I shit you not, and I'm going to be honest with you, I was the most nervous that I have felt in 7 years on this run, in Stage 5, or after a Stage 5 boss. I was sweating, and I had a really good pop-off. I kind of wish I had it recorded, but alas, I didn't. So you're going to take my word for it. I was hooting and hollering and screaming. I had a good time. Getting this run. So, how I practiced. Well, I'm gonna sound really boring and really simple, but the way I typically go through and the way I typically practice and start out is I'll play through each stage, make a save state on each stage, and just play through it until I do it perfectly, and then make a save state for the next stage, and the next boss, and the next stage. So for this one, right? I've played Mystic Square a lot. You can see my high score up there. It's not terrible. It's pretty alright, actually. 146 million. I have the normal Marissa record and the hard Reimu record as well in this game, and some decent extra stage scores. It's not my first rodeo with Mystic Square, right? When I started the whole VCR thing, I actually did a 2 miss no bomb with Reimu. So, you know, I'm pretty familiar with this game, so it's not like I needed to learn everything for the no miss no bomb. It was mostly the hard shit at the end of the game that I never bothered practicing for basic little score runs or the 2 miss. I kind of just raw dogged it, but I was thinking man, I really want to get that MS LNN. It's been a while since I've done an LNN, so I sat down and practiced. So typically what I do is I go through and I make a save state on each stage, on each boss. I keep playing until I do it cleanly and perfectly, and then I go forward and make a new one. So for this game, all the way to stage 4 boss, first shot everything, right? That's to be expected, given the level of familiarity I have with this game. But when I got to the actual hard parts of the game, that's when I started to make more detailed save states, like Yuki and my phase 1, Yuki my phase 2, my phase 1, my phase 3, that kind of thing. Umeco especially, and Shinki. Those two are tough. And so the way I typically learn with these save states is I always start with just playing myself. I try to see what I can come up with. Because sometimes when I look at other people's strats, the way that they interpret and parse patterns may not be clear to me, right? I try to use a lot more visual information to assist with the learning process. You'll kind of see what I mean when Umeco comes up, because I'll actually go more in depth of strategizing then. But, for example, let's say if something's shooting a stream of bullets and I'm streaming it, a good way to kind of time a restream that I might look at is the actual bullet spawn pattern itself, or the bullet spawn sprite, or the sound effect, one of those things, right? Something that's consistent, that you can relay that information to your brain, to your silly little brain, and that way it's a lot, easier to kind of parse than just kind of raw dogging it all the time. Or alternatively, if I'm struggling to find my own strats, or, you know, if I'm just like kind of like at a brick wall, I'll pick up some other person's replay. For example, I looked at Jam Ears' replay, Jam Ears. I looked at his LNN replay of this game, just to kind of get an idea of what he was doing on Umeco. And it like kind of made sense to me, like a little bit, because he was doing in sets of 3. Originally I was doing in sets of 2, which, like, looking back, yeah, doing in sets of 2 is like really weird. But what was important was the way he was doing the restream. So I couldn't parse the way he was reading the restream and what he was using as a visual cue. So I kind of had to make my own mental rhythm based on the bullet spawn sound effect. So that was fun. That was pretty engaging, actually. It's been a lot of fun learning this game for an LNN, Lunatic, no miss, no bomb, or as we used to call back in the day, a perfect run, or a burfect run. You know, with a heart, a diamond, and a yin-yang emote in between. Oh man, those are classic. I was actually like super nervous in this run when I got past Umeco Red, because Umeco Red and Umeco Blue gave me like really fucking nasty patterns. Like I was fighting for my life with those things. I can't wait for those to come up. But something Pan wanted me to kind of touch on is like playing through nerves, and I don't want to like kind of jerk myself off and be like, wow, you know, I don't feel this way, I'm just better than all of you. I don't feel nerves too often, because the way I mitigate nerves helps a lot when I'm in a group of people. I will just fucking yap. I'll just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, because it distracts my brain from being nervous, right? My brain's a fucking idiot. You know, I can just fucking yap and yap and yap, just talk nonsense, verbal shitposting, right? And that distracts myself from being nervous, because I'm not thinking, man, what if I fuck up? What if I fuck up? Because my brain's on autopilot right now. My brain is doing all the dodging. Brain's sending the signals to the hands. You know, that's what it's doing. It's not thinking about the actual run itself. It's just thinking about how I can make the people in the call laugh and just shitposting, right? That's what I do. That's like my own way of mitigating nerves. But I must admit, I did ask the call I was in very kindly if everyone would shut the fuck up for like a minute, just so I could do the final patterns of Shinki. I don't often need silence, but this time I felt like a little bit too much adrenaline for where I really kind of need that little bit of silence just to kind of focus, because Shinki's penultimate pattern is really something you need to focus on, or else you'll overshoot. And I do actually overshoot. I do fuck up the route, and I have to raw dog it, so I'm excited for that too. Holy hell. What else about learning? I feel like learning shmups is, it's not like a binary thing. There's so many different approaches and just ways you can internalize, like, learning a pattern. You can do it based on sound, you can do it based on positioning, you can line up your HUD with your ship, you can look at the boss movement, you can make your own like mental timing rhythm to tap to a streaming pattern. Like there's a lot you can do, and I feel sometimes like the minor things with a strat are really hard to kind of explain. Like you can say, oh yeah, you do this, right? You tap here, you wait for this to spawn, but sometimes things can be like really strict, and just waiting for something to spawn is not precise enough for what the pattern is asking. In that case, I feel like it's important to kind of think, like, what is your brain doing? What are you looking at here? Like, what is your cue? Execute strat. Okay, so actual first interesting part of the run is Alice. Alice phase 1. That kind of opener pattern, it's random which one she'll do. She'll do either like one of 3 free patterns, or she'll do that. I don't know what people call it. I like to think of it as like a sneeze. And then she'll do this, which will go in the middle. She'll spawn a mirror. Oh, don't shoot the mirror. You'll spawn bullets at you. But if you're Mima and I think Reimu and Yuka, you can like spin around her and do like a lot of damage. Which is funny because you can make these next phases last like 5 seconds. That was almost like a complete overstep. Looking back, that was really bad. But yeah, like, you do so much damage that you skip basically the entire phase. Alice is pretty cool that way. If you're aggressive, you can make this thing just die. It's awesome. Phase 3, she'll start doing this laser attack. A good way to get used to the laser attack is just always start each mental rhythm. You'll get this kind of rhythm down your head, like when she's gonna fire. Start each rhythm with a tap to a direction, so that way you're already kind of dodging that laser. You're preemptively dodging it. Phase 4, this is a real pain in the ass. This red spiral. At max rank, this is a nightmare to deal with, but at low rank, it's not that bad. I guess I should talk about the rank system, huh? People like to give, like, Garega a lot of flack for, like, its rank system. Being like, oh, it's weird, it's hard. So Mystic Square has a rank system in which, to simplify things, it goes from 0 to 10. When you get extends and like, collect items efficiently enough, it'll go up. A lot of the time in Mystic Square, you will be at max rank, especially if you're actually collecting items. You'll be at max rank like all the time. But dropping 1-ups and bombs will actually minimize your rank. It'll decrease it by like 3 or 4. So if you play your cards right and you like rank max the fuck out of the game like Mark would, you can have like 6 out of 10 rank by the last boss instead of 10, which that really changes how you approach those patterns because they can be really nasty. It's kind of like doing EOSD Killing Doll. Like if you could choose your rank for Killing Doll, you wouldn't want max and you wouldn't want low rank. You kind of want like right in the middle, like leaning a little bit higher. So it's that nice middle ground you get when you do rank control in this game, where it's not low enough to where some stuff is like way too slow. It's not fast enough to where it's like super mean and aggressive when she's low on the screen. It's a good middle ground, honestly. So yeah, you get to see me be sad and dodge all the items because collecting items increases rank. Yeah, if you kind of want like to watch me collect items and like play aggressively and score. Yeah, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this ain't the run for that. This is just a burfegt survival run. Classic LNN, as they say. Here's Bluey's. Yeah, she's gone. You can be like really aggressive sometimes with that first pattern of the cycle, but she was pretty nice that time. I dropped the bomb there. That drops like 3 rank, I think. Like a lot of rank. Here's a superstition. I feel like rank in this game affects enemy HP. Now, I don't know if that's right. It probably isn't, but I swear to God, when I started playing low rank, I felt like shit was dying so much faster. So much faster, it's insanity. I don't get why. Again, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm having a weird, like, mental crisis, right? I don't fucking know. Here's the first kind of, like, actual routing part of the game that isn't just sight read dodging. It's these pinwheels up here. So with Mima, you can actually point blank shotgunning by being just slightly off center to the enemies. You'll want to start in the middle, then go to the left, the middle again, then left, and then middle one last time. And the game will kind of try to fuck you, right? Because it will inherently push you to the corners. This last wave, the enemies come from the bottom to snipe you. So that's a little mean. That definitely got me on my first clears. I remember being real mad about that. Ooh, man, that brings me back, like, what, 10, 11 years ago? I remember those days. Mystic Square normal clear. God damn. So we're almost at Yuki and Mai, the dynamic duo where you get 2 bosses to choose from. You never want to fight Yuki. You always want to fight Mai, unless you're weird. Yuki is just so much harder than Mai, so I never fight Yuki. And also, she gives less points. So, yeah, there's no reason to fight her. Unless you just want to be cool, I guess. God, I love yapping. Okay. Yuki and Mai. So these two, there's 3 phases for the start of their fight. They have a combined total HP, so you can end the fight when there's still HP on the bar. Right, so you see, I'm going to be point blanking Yuki a lot here. She's the one in black. Mai is the one in white. The more damage you deal to one of them is the one that you will not fight. So if you deal the most damage to Yuki, you'll fight Mai. So a lot of these patterns is like just general kind of spacing and restreaming. You'll see that a lot more in phase 2, especially phase 2. Holy shit, that got me good the other day. Phase 2, so on every like phase 2 phase, Mai will spawn a laser. If you're far away from her, that laser will go like real fast. You have to be real careful not to kind of squish yourself into doing like weird dodges. You see I actually stopped shooting there for just a moment. That's just to deal less damage to Mai, to not risk killing her instead of Yuki. Phase 3, very simple, just starts with a streaming spell, non-spell. Cheetos, you see I stopped shooting here. There is a bug where if you end this fight with those Cheeto lasers on screen, they will actually linger for the entire game until Shinki, and then you can get sniped by an invisible hitbox. So you always stall that last Cheeto pattern just until they're off screen. So here's my very simplistic boss. It can get you sometimes. You'll see it soon. This kind of spinny pattern. See, I'm point blanking. Point blanking, I thought was like really useless in Mystic Square. So a bunch of people were like, no, dude, like you get like a fair amount of times to point blank. I was thinking like, oh yeah, I guess they're right. You get a good amount of extra damage. You don't have to dodge like any of the weird hard shit. This pattern in particular, see, I end it before the fourth loop starts of it, which is really nice. You can point blank here, just get some extra damage. Do this at the bottom hug it, because these eggs will shoot suicide bullets at you. Very mean. This is a very kind of slow, methodical pattern. You dodge this part normally, and when the eggs come down, you wait till they're close, and you shoot them, so that way you seal the bullets, Donpachi style. Do that till it's over. I wish I had more to say about like the practice or learning process, but I'll be frank, like I don't do anything like that special. You don't need to have this like crazy practice routine. You don't need to do like reps of like EUSD books over and over. Oh, look at that line. That's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. On the post I made where it's like, oh, give me like topic ideas. I think Borealis, they said like why you don't need to do like books reps or something to be good or whatever. Yeah, you don't need to do like 50 of a thing in a row to be good at it or to like improve at it. It's good to kind of keep a note on how consistent you are at something. If you're lacking consistency, then it's best to kind of look back at what you're doing and what your mistakes are. Is it execution mistakes, or is it like an actual flaw with how you're reading the pattern? That's a lot more important than just hammering in attempts to like improve your consistency by a few % each time. At some point you will get diminishing returns. But no, I don't do anything that special, right? Something I kind of wanted to like disprove for a while is like, you know, higher level shmup players, and maybe it's a bit egotistical to call myself a higher level player, but like, you know, we're just kind of normal guys, you know? Like, I'm not doing like any like weird deals with the devil to practice efficiently. I just make like save states, and then when I want to play something but I don't want to do like a full run, like I just want to play like 5 minutes, I'll just boot it up, do like an attempt at Umeco, then close it, and then that's good. That's what I do. So here's the mid boss. Because I don't need the extend, I will actually time out the mid boss. Now, what good does that do? So when you kill this mid boss here, you'll actually get a really fucking hard spam section. It's like EUSD stage 5, but actually hard. Like, pretty fucking hard. So I just completely time it out. Which does mean that when I'm going for this run, and if I make mistakes, I only get 2 lives for the run, which isn't a problem. Because the goal is no miss. When the boss does time out, which will be on after this here, you do have to do about 10 seconds of the spam. So what I like to do is go in big strides and kind of look ahead to see where the blue fairies are, because the blue fairies shoot the most dangerous pattern here. It's that 3-way shot. That's really nasty to deal with sometimes, especially if you're already in the corner and one spawns at the far edge. You have to do like a weird micro to get out of it. So here's Umeco. Here is Umeco, the gatekeeper of this game. So on the opener, you'll see me actually do a bit of shotgunning here inside the pattern. So this part here is very dependent on where she is. If she's high up on the screen, then you can do it at the bottom. If she's low at the screen, then you really want to kind of take your chances and dodge at the side like I'm doing there. You will deal less damage, but that's up to you. Red. So red and blue, you don't shoot at all, because if you shoot the pattern down, it'll get harder. But if you don't shoot it, it'll stay at its easiest formation, which is perfect. So the way I do this pattern is a little bit differently than I've seen other people do. I've seen other people with Mima kind of do one in the corner, one in the side, and then one in the other corner. Now, while that is a good approach, I felt like it just put too much risk into like weird sword cutbacks. I mean, I still have to do them like you just saw there. That was fucked. So I actually do two in the middle. I do one on the far, like I do one in the corner, one close to that corner, and then one a little bit more to the other corner, and then the far corner. So instead of doing one in the middle, I'm doing two on each side in the center of the screen. This phase is easy, you just kill it. This one, you do 3 kunai waves, and then I cut up and then back down, as typically when the kunai wave is about half shot is when I move up. That's kind of like my mental rhythm. But I do actually botch the rhythm a little bit here, but I don't get any time to recenter it. So I do have to kind of do it raw. You'll see some really weird dodges like that. Not my finest play of this strategy. Oh my god. But yeah, I typically restream after 3. That's what Jam Ears does, and that worked for me once I kind of got the mental rhythm down. You can actually safe spot this on the side, but I don't like to do that. I'd rather not deal with like the weird going back into the middle. I like to just sit in the middle and then just micro up. This pattern's free. You'll dodge like 4 bullets and then it dies with Mima, so you don't have to do anything. Goodbye. So at this point, I was pretty nervous. You can see I actually pause here for just a moment, because this was the furthest I've made it. No miss, no bomb. I was entering stage 6, and earlier today I was practicing Shinki like a lot. Shinki and Umeco. I probably did about 5 to 6 hours practice today because it was a holiday here in Canada, so I decided to take advantage of it and actually practice some shmups for once. So I was doing a lot of these 2 fights. Shinki, in particular, had really good consistency. I felt very consistent at her today. I would only fuck it up like once every like 10 or 15 times. So this is when I started to get nervous, and I started to kind of like yap and yap and yap to distract my brain. And, you know, I don't know if other people feel this, maybe it's because I'm a fat fuck, but like, you know when you get that adrenaline, you kind of feel in like your heart's like starting to pump, right? That's what I was starting to feel like in this section here, because nothing's happening, right? Nothing's happening in the stage section, it's very simple. But because I knew that Shinki was coming up, that's when I felt that adrenaline start to pump. Which is a nice feeling. I don't feel it that often anymore. And I'm glad that I felt it this run. It felt really good. So here's Shinki. She can give you some nasty patterns, and I'll kind of go over my approach, like rapid fire here. So phase 1, if she's high up on the screen, you can kind of micro it at the bottom like this, depending on which way the pattern opens. I believe it's left, right, left, right, left, right. Yeah. If she's low on the screen, then you have to take your chance and go to the side and hope that you can kind of curve upwards through it as it opens. Phase 2 is a very kind of like mean pattern. If she's low on the screen, holy hell, this like spam can give you some real nasty waves, like super nasty. I'm sure you can guess, but the blue like 2-way spread is aimed at you. I know, very obvious, right? Alright, phase 3. So for phase 3, 4, and 5, you can sit at the top of the screen to safe spot part of it. So this is like a sight read pattern, very fast, relatively large bullets coming down. I actually get some pretty rough RNG here, and I get pushed to the side a lot more than I usually do. This is where Shinki kind of gets tough, right? When she wants to be mean and aggressive, she doesn't really hold back at all. She'll fuck you up. Here is the only breathing room you get in the fight is this pattern. Infamously like Cherno safe spot tier, you can kind of just like sit up here and take a little breather for like 45 seconds. It's a good way to kind of compose yourself when you know that the DR pattern is coming up next, which I fuck up. I fuck it up, and I have to clutch it out. So, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that to come out. Holy hell. Yeah, I hope everyone's been doing wonderful. It's good to, I guess, be back, for lack of a better term. It's good to make videos again. It's good to see everyone again. I'm happy to play again as well. Alright, so here's phase 5. I always called this the pinball phase, I think because like an older player called it that. I do this exact movement every single time. I go up and then around. I've always done this for like 10 years or something. It's just the easiest way I read this. But here we go. Devil's Recitation is the UFO pattern that is inspired from this. So the way I do this, tap once, let 2 go by, and then tap again. I keep that rhythm going as much as I can until the final, in which case I either have to continue that mental rhythm or raw dog it. So here's where I actually fuck up. Because of that, I fuck up, I miscount because I was nervous. I'm like, oh my god, like, no, 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 no. Like, when this pattern happened, I was screaming, like, please die, please end, because I couldn't handle that type of dodging right now. Here's the final. Has the potential to be extremely volatile. If she moves down in, like, a weird angle to kind of clump up those, Mentos, holy shit, you can get some really nasty waves. But, thankfully, oh my god, thankfully, I don't get a nasty wave. I get, like, a weird dodge there, but I just end it. End it very quickly, actually. So, that is my Mystic Square Lunatic No Miss, No Bomb, aka LNN. I will let the credits go with my mic muted, but I would like to thank everyone for watching. I'm very glad to be back doing this again. I hope it was an entertaining run. I guess in terms of like how long it took, I don't have like a concrete answer for that. I've been actively grinding it for like maybe a week, just about a week, but that doesn't tell the full story. Because I have LNB'd the game in the past, and I have played the game like a little bit for score, so my true time, I can't give the true time that I played this game on Lunatic. I would probably wager like 60, 70 hours, just as a guesstimate. But damn, it feels good to get another LNN under my belt. And no, it wasn't too bad either. This felt good. So, I will mute, let the credits go. Thank you ever for watching. Leave a comment, either making fun of me, or what you enjoyed of the video, or if you have any suggestions for other things to do. Have a good night. Yeah, laugh it up. The name's Cum.